が消えかかるそれがオレンジャー熱い血流れる鋼のマシン
Welcome to the Super Sentai Brothers. This is episode 17 of For Your Eyes Ohranger, the internet's best and only podcast dedicated to Chouriki Sentai Ohranger. Every week, we watch an episode of the show and we share our thoughts with you, the listeners. My name is Matt J. With me, as always, is my co-brother. Hey, what's up, co-brother?
Co-brothers, hey!
Dave, how are you, Dave?
I'm doing pretty well. Things are I'm making it through.
Nice.
Making it through, Matt. I am in the middle of, like, babies are having some hard time sleeping, and I am in the middle of rehearsals for a show. Mm-hmm. And so, let me tell you about two great tastes that don't taste great together.
Sleep deprivation and more sleep deprivation?
Yeah. But in 3 weeks, there's a spring break. There's spring break, and then I'm going to be on spring break, and then after that is the show. Like, the week after that is the show. Just sort of like weird timing.
I think that at this point, Dave, we have been doing this show long enough that all of our listeners know your show schedule.
Well, it's that time again, guys. So yeah, that's where I'm at. But Matt, it's a balm to my soul and restful. It's such a sweet space that we enter into as co-brothers to talk about Super Sentai.
And speaking of that, we are talking about episode 17 of Chouriki Sentai Ohranger today. It is called The Stolen Transformation Brace. But before we
I wonder what it's about. I bet we'll never guess.
There's no way to tell. But Dave, before we get into that, shining in the heavens, there are 5 stars. What, oh brother mine, is the first star of the week?
It's daylight savings time.
Yes.
And we're back to, okay, so I don't know which time is the real time.
Dave, what is real? What's real?
What
really is real? And what is time? Those are two very good questions.
Did I? Okay, I don't think I ever told you this. I have a friend who has a PhD in physics from Harvard, right? Mm-hmm. So he's a real physicser. He's a real physicist.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I was like, so why is time? like why is there now and then?
Were you also
just
really
what's up
looking
with
at your hand? Just really looking at it?
Like really look at it? No. So I asked him, I'm like, so why is time? Because like we sort of know why is gravity. Like there's big things and they're connected. We think there might be a particle or something, right? But I was like, why is time? And his answer was, as best we can figure, because light. like light exists, so that makes time. We're not totally sure.
Well, then I guess it makes sense.
I don't know
then that daylight would be connected to the saving of time.
Right. So, but I don't know which is the real time. But this is the version I prefer.
This is okay. We are going into the good time. We are also going into the false time.
Oh, is this the fakey one?
This is the false time. Yeah, the time that has like an extra, like the hour of sunlight weighted towards the end of the day is that is daylight savings time. Daylight savings time has just begun and it will end in like November or whatever.
Oh, okay. Well, then everybody who says daylight savings time is bad can go suck a lemon.
Yeah, no.
Because daylight savings time rules, actually.
Those people are all wrong. The real time sucks. Daylight savings time is amazing.
Yeah, the sun didn't go down today till like 7:30 or 8. It was incredible.
Yeah, it was a nice sunny day today. Cold, but sunny.
Yeah, it was cold, right. Cold but sunny. Cleveland in March.
It has been so much colder in March than it was in February. It is maddening.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to handle that. It's actually really messing with me. But by the end of March, I have a student who transferred in this year from Texas.
Ooh, how are they dealing with it?
It's not going well. He has a little bit of a leg up because he lived in Ohio as like a child.
Okay.
They lived in Texas for like a long time, then moved back. And he asked, he's like, so how long does this go? Like this being winter. Like, how long does it go?
It's like, well,
and I said,
the trick is that there's no way of knowing.
There's no way of knowing. I said, usually if you get to April, you're probably fine.
Yeah.
Like you by the time April hits, like you're basically cool. Although one year it did snow on Mom's birthday, April the 21st.
Yeah.
So, who knows?
I don't know. Maybe too many people were 420 blazing it, so on 421 there needed to be some snow to chill them all out.
Man, I don't even. That was a deep cut. That was good.
Thank you.
So I don't know, but it's daylight savings time, and I'm a big fan. I just found that out. That was a revelation to me. I didn't know that.
Well, I'm glad to help, Dave.
Yeah, thanks, bud.
Anyway, what then is our second star of the week?
So, second star of the week, Matt. You know how you think you know how to do things?
Yeah, I mean, most
Not
things.
you I mean, I know you do, but one thinks they know how to do things. And then, so I was on the internet. I was on Facebook. And my Facebook feed is very... I don't follow a lot of things or people, okay?
I think that's probably the best way to Facebook.
Yeah, it's the best way to Facebook. Let me tell you the best way to Facebook. Follow like 4 people and then also follow the Smithsonian and like the New York Times. And that's basically what I do with my Facebook.
Yeah, and get real trigger happy with that block and mute button.
Oh man, yeah, it does
you do
not
owe
take
those
much.
people your time. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, it takes virtually nothing, everybody. So anyways, so I saw this article, and the gist of it was like, you're bending over wrong, but it wasn't like a BuzzFeed article, it was a Smithsonian article.
Oh, so it wasn't 7 ways you thought you knew how to like bend the knees.
Right. But it's the Smithsonian article, and it's this dude, and the gist of the article is like, hey, you're probably bending over wrong. I was like,
I am supposed to do it the back, aren't I? I told all those people. I told them for years.
No, you're not. You're not. Okay, no, just a minute. You're thinking of not bending, Matt. You're thinking of lifting. He's talking about bending, like bending at the waist. He says you're doing it wrong. And I thought to myself, like, man, I'm pretty sure I've got bending figured out. And it turns out I'm a big dumb idiot, and I didn't. So here's the deal. Because he was like, everybody in America has like, in like Western Europe, like has back problems. Like we all have back problems because we all bend over. Like other people in other places like bend over all the time, and they don't seem to have these problems. Like what's going on? And so he started researching it, and it turns out that like we have a tendency, like Americans have a tendency to literally like bend at the waist, right? Mm-hmm. Like we bend at the waist, and we like our back, like our spine curves over. Okay. So like if you're bent over, like think about like touching your toes, right?
Okay. I mean, I can think about trying to do that.
Yeah, no. Matt can't touch his toes, everybody. But like think about the motion of touching your toes and how your back sort of like arcs in that way.
Yeah.
Like that is the way that most people bend over. And that is apparently wrong. If you do it that way, don't do it that way.
Okay.
Basically,
what am I supposed to do? Maybe this will finally get me to a point where I can touch my toes.
Well, you'll be able to touch your toes if you do it this way, just not in the way that like you want. Do it this way. Like keep your back as straight as possible, okay? And you like bend at the knees and stick your butt out. Okay? If you need to look it up, just look up the hip hinge bend.
Okay.
Hip hinge is what it's called.
Does it look as goofy as it sounds?
Yeah, it looks super goofy.
Okay, just
like
checking.
I want to be clear. You will look like a doofus, but I've been really trying to heed this advice for a week now. And Matt, dang it, if I wasn't bending over wrong. Like my lower back does feel so much better. Let me tell you, I got twin babies. I bend over a lot, and this has really. It's made my life a lot better. Turns out I'm a big idiot, and I didn't even know how to bend over right. Because I don't know my own body. So, there you go. What, Matt, is our third star of the week?
Dave, you know who can touch his toes? Because he's very flexible? Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, yeah, that dude is super flexible.
So there is a show on Amazon Prime that I had known existed. I'd actually watched the first episode of it some time ago. Then just like, I liked it a lot, but I forgot to keep watching it, which is usually how I watch shows that are not Super Sentai.
Matt, are we talking about Jean-Claude Van Johnson?
We're talking about Jean-Claude Van Johnson.
Oh, yeah, that show's amazing.
Yeah, have you
By
watched
the way,
this?
real quickly, I have. If you look up hip hinge bend in Google Images, it will tell you exactly what you need to do.
Okay.
Got you. Anyways, yeah, well, okay, I haven't watched the whole thing. I've watched the first, I think 6 or 7 episodes.
There are only 6 episodes.
Okay, well then I have watched the first 4 episodes.
Okay. Dudes, this show is straight up magic. I was watching it the other day with our sister, and I turned to her and I said, someday there might be a show that is better than this, but today is not that day. Like, it's astonishingly good.
Now, I will say, you really... Well, okay, let me actually ask you this, because I don't think our little sister has watched a whole lot of Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, whereas you and I have watched all of them?
Maybe all of them.
Maybe all of them.
Katie has seen
like
Bloodsport.
A really large percentage, I'll say.
Katie has seen Bloodsport, which I know because we watched it together a few months ago.
Okay, so like I guess my question is if you haven't already watched a lot of Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, is Jean-Claude Van Johnson as great? Like, is it as good if you haven't seen the movies? Does that make sense?
I think so. I mean, I obviously can't know personally, but she really liked it as well. So, okay,
good.
If you,
so that's a solid
If you,
report.
the listener, have not seen this show, first of all, you definitely should. But second of all, the concept of the show is that Jean-Claude Van Damme plays himself in this show, and he is also, like, in the world of this show, he is both Jean-Claude Van Damme, the actor who you know from Bloodsport and Time Cop and Universal Soldier, and Double Impact and Lionheart, and Cyborg. Anyway, but he is also, in his, like, secret life, Jean-Claude Van Johnson, who is a secret agent, right?
To be clear, he and every other, like, major action hero in Hollywood.
Yes. Like, all of the ones who work for this particular talent agency, that talent agency is also, like, a secret organization that, like, sends secret missions, or secret agents out on missions, right? And the only way I can describe this show, without really giving too much of it away, is that it is a satire of Van Damme's career, and, like, a send-up of it, but it is also a beautiful love letter to it. And it also manages to be the thing. It does the thing that like very few things manage, which is that it is itself a version, like a very good version of the thing that it is making fun of. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. And I think you can only make it if you have, like, this is a nerd show. And let me explain what I mean by that. It is made clearly by someone, and I don't know who's, like, creating this show. It might be Jean-Claude Van Damme himself.
I mean, he's in the show. He plays himself.
Yeah. But, like, I don't know who's, like, writing it and producing it or whatever. But what I mean by a nerd show is it is made by whoever's making it, both A, fully, deeply, and unabashedly loves Jean-Claude Van Damme movies.
Yes.
And at the same time, recognizes within themselves that they are ridiculous movies.
Yeah, I mean, they're also great, but they are ridiculous.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, both of those things are true, and I think, like, if you only think they're goofy or you only think they're amazing, you could not make this show. You need to recognize, like, you need to embrace the fullness of what Jean-Claude Van Damme movies are,
right, which
is both ridiculous and awesome.
You need to understand that the career of Jean-Claude Van Damme contains multitudes.
Yes. Yeah, precisely.
Anyway, it's very, very, very good, and I cannot recommend it strongly enough. It was so good.
Yeah, no, ditto for me.
The other day, Katie and I were sitting around like, man, I wish there was more Jean-Claude Van Johnson that we could watch. But there isn't. And then we just looked at each other like, well, I guess we're going to watch Double Impact tonight.
You can do worse things with your life.
No, yeah, Double Impact rules. It's got twice the Van damage, Dave. Oh, seriously. Right after you finish watching Jean-Claude Van Johnson, go on YouTube and look up the original trailer for Double Impact. It is beautiful. It is a work of art.
I will make sure to do that.
Okay, anyway, Dave, what is our fourth star of the week?
So our fourth star of the week is, I know, okay, we're talking about Dungeons & Dragons a lot, but this is only sort of Dungeons & Dragons related. Guys, do you know about Roll20? You probably know about Roll20.
Yeah, sure.
But we have just gotten on Roll20, and, man, like, Matt, you and I have some really excellent friends.
Oh, sure we do.
We do. And our buddy Cody, who has been on the show before, actually.
Yeah, he got in touch. He was on that first movie episode we did, the Die Ranger movie, which is like episode 7 of our show, I think.
Yeah, it's like super early on. Anyways, he knows that like we wanted to start using Roll20, and he got a hold of us, and he's like, my wife and I, Megan, would just like to make a gift of this Roll20 subscription to you guys. Like, we love you, and we would just like you guys to have it, like you, Jern siblings. And so he just got it for us. And guys, it's not cheap. It's like a lovely present.
Yeah. Thank you,
and it
Cody.
came out of the blue. So thanks, man. So anyways, Roll20 rules.
Yeah, man. It's very good. For people who that don't already know what it is, please explain what it is. Because know that Mom is listening to this and wondering what we are talking about.
Yeah, sorry. So, Mom, you know that we play Dungeons and Dragons, and you need to be like around a table, and you have like half dice and like all of this other stuff, right? Roll20 is set up so that people who are not sitting at the same table can play Dungeons and Dragons. And basically, it's a computer program that runs in your browser, and you could put like maps and little like pictures of dudes on it, and all of the stuff that you need to play Dungeons and Dragons, and like a bunch of other games, mind you. But we're playing Dungeons and Dragons, is built into this program. So everybody sort of logs in, and there's like a dungeon master who has like created the map, and there's like monsters, and it like rolls for you, and it does all of this really cool stuff. And with the subscription that we have, like the paid subscription, there's a ton of super crazy tools. There's this thing called dynamic lighting, so I can set it up so as the players are like walking through, the dungeon is dark, and they only see from like the torches that are scattered around and the torches that they are carrying with them. I can set up like a fog of war like in an RTS game, so if they're not looking down a hallway, like goblins can be sneaking up it and stuff.
Ooh, that is very cool. I mean, not cool for me because I don't want those goblins to sneak up on me, but...
Dude, Matt, you have nothing to fear from goblins. You guys are like level 13.
That's true. Fine. That is true.
And so you can set up, there's like special effects you can throw in for like fireballs, and it's amazing. Like, it's super, super cool. The only thing is to get like the full utility out of it. Like, it is a computer program and it runs on, I don't know, like JavaScript probably. And so if you really want to make it do, there's like, you can automate a lot of elements of it, but you need to program it to automate those things. They're like, I don't know how to do that.
Sure, yeah.
So I'm going to have to figure out how to use tools that other people have created. But
oh, dude, it is so great because I remember the first time I tried to join I think it was a Star Wars game when I was in college that we were doing online. And this would have been in 2005. So the way that we did it was in a private AOL Instant Messenger chat room. And we just all tried to like type at each other. But like you couldn't, like I was not as quick of a typist as other people. So you had to sort of like raise your hand to let other people know, like, oh, like my character is about to say something. Hold on, don't like change what room we're in. So you just like,
oh my gosh,
like hit like asterisk and send that out to like notify people that you were about to take an action. It took literally all night to do like 3 things, and I think I dropped out of the game after 2 weeks because it was a nightmare. And this is less of a nightmare.
Awful.
In fact, Dave,
no,
it is a beautiful internet dream.
Yeah, it's like the best things on the internet. Like, this is the sort of thing the internet is for. We could talk about it all night, but what, Matt, is our 5th star of the week?
Dave, our 5th star of the week is, we mentioned it briefly, I think a week or two ago, but I don't think that we had actually mentioned it on the show before. But our sister, who has been living with me for about 9 months now, is moving out.
Yeah, and she was living with me for a couple months before that.
Yeah, she is moving out. She is not only leaving my apartment, but she is leaving the country. She is going to Japan. She got a gig out there, and she's going to be working at a university outside of Tokyo. Now,
I was going to say, Matt, you say a gig. she's going to be a university professor in Japan.
Hey, listen, that
Well,
is
I mean,
a gig.
that is okay. That is a gig. I'm just saying, like, it's, you know, it's a big deal. Like, it's this super cool thing. Katie, where it's, I don't know, man. Like, so she's been all over the world, man. She taught English in South America. She taught in Korea for a couple of years, but it's always been, not to like diminish it, it's a very cool thing, but it's always been like, oh, she was teaching at like a little private school, or she was teaching like, you know, like businessman or something like that. And she recently finished up a master's degree in teaching English.
Yeah, that was mentioned
like
on the show previously. Longtime listeners
that's
may
right,
remember.
Yeah. And this is like a university level. Like I said, she's like a college professor teaching English in Japan.
Now, that's all very exciting for us and for her and whatever. But here's what's also exciting, potentially, for all of us here, including you, the listeners, is that this means that we will have an agent on the ground living just like in or outside of Tokyo who will be able to hopefully give us like reports from the field as to what is going on in this year's Sentai.
Yeah, what I really want to know, I mean, that's all well and good, Matt, but what I want to know is if she can hunt down the quarry. Like, I want to know...
If we can get some pictures from the quarry.
Yeah, that's really what I need to know.
The quarry, the dock, the factory. That one factory with the big staircase that the stroller got pushed off of. You know the one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're back there today.
Yeah, they were back there in this week's episode. Dave.
Oh, wait, Matt, we just broke kayfabe. Guys, we already watched the episode. Sorry.
Yeah.
The timing worked better for us.
Anyway, yeah, so it's very exciting. And that is happening later this week. So congratulations, Katie. I know you don't actually listen to the show, but you are in the next room and you might be able to hear me say it right now. So good job for you. Have a great time in Japan. Dave, now speaking of Japan, it is time.
That was a great segue.
It is time for us to watch Okay, we already watched. It's time for us to begin talking about episode 17, called The Stolen Transformation Brace. Dave, I can't say we'll be right back because we've already...
I was just going to say it feels weird to say we'll be right back now, but...
the fact that we are not going anywhere.
Okay, Mark, so just go ahead and throw the stinger in. And we're back.
Okay, Dave. This was a great episode.
It was. Wait, Matt, I just realized something.
What?
We rolled straight through, and I was going to take a second. I was going to watch the trailer for Double Impact, and now I don't have a chance to do that. This is a really good episode, though.
It is a good episode. Okay, so I can talk for a minute if you want to real quick watch Double Impact sort of in the background.
No, it feels weird.
Okay, so we start this episode, and Yuji is out on patrol. He's just on his motorcycle, driving around. He had... Was it last week that he had a day off, or was it 2 weeks ago?
I don't remember. I'm going to be honest.
Anyway,
now.
he recently had a day off, so now he's the guy on patrol. Yeah. And, nothing is happening. He's just driving around the city, looking for some trouble, and not finding any.
So he calls it on his radio. He's like, guys, everything seems to be chill. There doesn't seem to be any paranoia activity. And he radios in, and we see Goro's on the radio. And we flip over, and Shohei is eating a bowl of ramen. Mm-hmm. They're in, like, the command center, by the way. And this is perfect, because Shohei is eating a bowl of ramen. Uh-huh. Momo is doing her makeup.
Yes.
And Juri is just sitting there doing bicep curls.
Just pumping iron.
Yeah, it's incredible. And then we flip.
And I think it's Shohei says, like, man, like, nothing has been going on. And Goro responds, like, no, we cannot let our guard down. And he goes back to what he was reading, which, based on the tone of his conversation, you would think that he was reading, like, reports on paranoia activity. But he goes back to reading it, and it's just, like, a recipe book. Like, he's just reading a magazine with recipes on, like, how to make some, I don't know, something that involves a lot of cream. He didn't get too far into the recipe.
So we go back to Yuji, and he sees something. Oh, man, he sees a paranoia, a Bara soldier kidnapping a kid. Or, like, trying to kidnap a kid. And, like, the mom's flipping out. And Yuji runs over. And he's like, get away. And so the Bara soldier's running away. And Yuji's chasing him.
The Bara soldier puts the child down. but continues to run away, and Yuji follows. They cut.
Yeah. Now, real quickly, I do just want to say that as he's chasing him, Yuji does yell, "Wait!"
Like, stop! You're under arrest, evil robot.
Yeah, it's like, Yuji, you're not going to arrest this robot. You're going to destroy it. Why would it possibly wait for you? Anyways, so
they cut through a hedge, and all of a sudden they are in this the aforementioned factory lot, the same one where previously the stroller had been pushed off of the giant staircase.
Yeah, and so the bar soldier runs up, and then Yuji chases him, and as he gets to the top, the bar soldier pulls its mask off, and it's just a dude under there. And Yuji is confused. He's like, "Who are you?" And he says, "I am the evil mastermind, Genius Kuroda."
Yes.
He said, he says all of that. This is not like a subtitle like Genius Mastermind Kuroda. He just says, "I am the evil mastermind, Genius Kuroda."
Yeah,
that's me.
And
here's my business.
And I want to be clear about this. When he pulls off the Bara Soldier mask and like jumpsuit, he is not just wearing street clothes underneath. He is wearing evil mastermind genius clothing. Like, he's got like the full white lab coat and the glasses and the tie. Like, he looks every bit an evil scientist.
Yeah, so he sort of like, he pulls up the end, he's like blasts Yuji, and Yuji like flips over the side and he's hanging off the railing. And he says, "I targeted you, Yuji, because I knew that you were the most irresponsible ranger and that I would be able to do this and like steal your power base." Which is a weird thing to say because everybody else is chilling and Yuji's on patrol and you kidnapped a child and he stopped you from doing that. Like, I don't know what about that plan makes it seem as though it would really like prey on a dude who's super irresponsible.
I don't know. Maybe he does say irresponsible. I feel like maybe a better like sick burn on Yuji would be that he's brash. Like, he just sort of like ran in like, without double checking.
Like, that would work. So anyways, so he's got this little like, he's got like a shocker or something. And so he uses the little tool and he gets the brace off and he's like, "Adios, amigo." And he zaps Yuji and Yuji falls. But he survives.
He drops like 10
falls into
stories,
like a
but he lands on a cardboard box, so he's okay.
Yeah, so he's cool. And then Evil Mastermind Genius Kuroda has a jetpack.
Oh, yeah, he does.
He did not have it before. He has it now.
Well, listen, this was all part of his Evil Mastermind plan. He had left the jetpack
So he's got it
there.
stashed. No. Yep, I'm with you. And so he just rides that jetpack on out.
It's very good.
Yeah.
So we cut back to the headquarters, and they're talking about the evil mastermind Genius Kuroda, who is apparently a world-class engineer and used to work for what's the organization that the Ohrangers work for? The
United Air Force, right?
It's like the whatever organization that is. Like, I think that Kuroda used to work for them back before he was an evil mastermind Genius Kuroda. Maybe he was just mastermind Genius Kuroda before.
I presumably. And so the chief says, he's like, "Yeah, that's where he is."
Yeah, he disappeared 2 years ago. No one's seen him since.
So he says, "Listen, he's like, I don't know what he's doing with this brace, but like whatever he's doing with it, it's bad." And Yuji says, "Well, Chief, can't you just make another one?" And I thank you so much for giving me this explanation, Ohranger. And the Chief says, "No, actually, I can't, because the storage crystal, like the Chouriki storage crystals that are in your bracers, are the only 5 ones. Like, they were recovered from these archaeological sites. There aren't any other ones.
Yeah, these are.
So I cannot make you another power bracer.
These are unique artifacts. So not only can I not make you a new one, but like you super need to go get this thing, because all of the secrets of how Chouriki energy works and how like our transformation stuff works in our robots, if the Paranoia get a hold of this bracer, they can sort of backwards engineer it all from there. Remember, like, Chief backwards engineered all of this from like a corner of a tablet he found one time.
Right. So he says, "Listen, yeah, like if they get this bracer, like that's it."
Yeah, like later on they'll say like destroying Ohranger would no longer just be a dream. And yeah, that's totally true. So
Yep.
they need to go get this thing. We cannot say it any more emphatically than we already have, and I feel like we have already said it 7 times. What is the next scene, Dave?
So the chief says, listen, I don't know how he has this piece of information, but he says, evil mastermind genius Kuroda, he doesn't say that. I'm just putting it out every time because I'm tickled by it. So he says, evil mastermind genius Kuroda was like last spotted at Rindo Lake Family Farm.
Yeah, so first of all...
Which sounds weird
earlier,
because you think he's just at a farm. It's not a farm. I mean, maybe it's a farm, but it's not just a farm.
Yeah.
We've seen this place before, actually.
This was in Chouriki, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in Chouriki. It's where the Saruder God Scroll was like in and around here someplace, I think.
Yes. When what's his name? Our old buddy, the Red Chouranger.
The Red Chouranger. I know. That's why I talked about Saruder, because I remembered Saruder. We watched the show for a year, Matt. How does this happen?
I know, dude. It happens to me every year. It is so difficult. Like, I am able to memorize everyone's name while we were watching this. And I know that the listeners, are saying, Matt, why don't you just say his name? His name is clearly Sasuke, which just came to me as I was in the middle of that sentence. But, like, I don't know what it is, man. When you're watching one show, trying to remember details of the other isn't... It's like trying to remember the lyrics of one song while you're listening to a different one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's virtually impossible.
Anyway, back to this show. The last place they saw him was at this, what is it called? Family Farm?
Rindo Lake Family Farm.
Rindo Lake Family Farm. So we cut to Rindo Lake Family Farm, and we see the evil mastermind, Genius Kuroda, landing next to a little house. When I say landing, he flew all the way there in his jetpack.
Yep.
And he rolls in, and a child is there, his only son. And he says, like, oh, son, like, I finally done it. I'm going to be a great and wealthy and powerful man. You will no longer have to suffer. Like, I nailed it. Finally. Like, all our ships are coming in.
Yes. So the kid, he's like, Dad, he's like, okay, no, that's cool. I like everything that you're saying. You didn't do anything bad, did you? And
the evil mastermind Genius Kuroda says, no, of course not. I'm your dad. I would never do anything bad. And his son says, sure. Except that pretty recently, I've been hearing you say some whack stuff about how humans are terrible and robots are awesome and the Baranoia Empire is the best. So what's up with that?
You're sure you didn't do anything bad? He's like, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. So conveniently, we get the kid's name eventually. It's Shigeru. We're not going to get it for like 10 minutes, but I'll just tell you now. His name is Shigeru. So anyways, conveniently, Shigeru is not for him, for the plot. I'm sure it sucks for him. His head starts to hurt, like acutely. He's like, oh, my head. And his dad, evil mastermind Genius Kuroda, says, oh, like, let me come. And like he like picks him up and exit scene.
Yes. Now, we do see at this point that some Bara soldiers are like closing in on the Genius Kuroda's house. Like they're sort of like traipsing through the woods outside. And we cut from there to a scene of the Ohrangers who have all arrived at this like theme park.
Rindo Lake Family Farm.
The Rindo Lake Family Farm. And they're all going out to find Yuji's stolen brace. Because since they have the other braces, they can sort of, if they get near to it, they will be able to like pick up on the energy that it's emitting, and they can track it down that way.
So this is, in case you... Because you need to understand, by the way, what Rindo Lake Family Farm is. Here's my theory. Because it's not, like, it does. At no point does it appear to be a functioning farm. Here's what I think probably happened. Like, ages ago, there was a real farm. And they were like, oh, you know what we should do? We should run, like, tours for city folk of our bucolic farm.
Uh-huh.
Right? And then... they were like, well, as long as people are here, maybe we could, like, sell them some ice cream. So then they're, like, made an ice cream stand. And they're like, well, if they want to hang out for ice cream, like, we're by this lake, maybe they want to do, like, paddle boats? And now eventually there's like an art gallery and go-karts and like off-road go-karts and paddle boats and ice cream and a restaurant, and the place is packed.
Yeah, I have to assume that in the Kakuranger episode and then also this time, like, this episode must have been sponsored by Rindo Lake Family Farms, right?
Well, okay, it's either that, or they decided to have like a cast and crew fun day, and they're like, listen, we can't do like a total day off, like we do have to shoot, but we'll at least like go out to Rindo Lake, and then when we're done, like we all can hang out.
Right, like if we finish early, you can take the rest of the day and enjoy the paddle boats.
Because yeah, this is 100% a totally real place, and it is still open. It looks like.
So they go over, and like literally, they are just wandering around this place, showing you all of like the wonderful sights of Rindo Lake Family Park. Like Goro goes to the go-kart track, and Momo wanders into a museum.
Yeah.
And it's just like looking for the stolen brace. Like, hopefully, it's hidden next to this fabulous art collection. Oh, Shohei does absolutely ride a goofy-looking like trolley car that's shaped like a train. He's just like has his head sticking out of it. It's beautiful.
Oh, so Matt, apparently they also go to Rindo Lake Family Farm in Ohranger.
Nice. Looking forward to that one.
So they're hunting. They're not having any luck, but they're hunting all around Rindo Lake Family Fun Farm. And the next thing we see is evil mastermind Genius Kuroda is meeting with Baranoia.
Yeah.
Like they're not there to steal from him. This is a meetup.
Yeah.
And Acha and Kocha are there, and the Sambara soldiers, and Prince Bulldont is there. And Kuroda says, well, listen, I'll give you the brace in exchange for Japan. So, like, when you guys conquer Earth, which, like, I think you're going to do, I get Japan.
Right. It's a small island. You won't miss it. Let me enjoy it here. Listen, I'm on your side. I don't like humans. Like, I think robots like you are way better.
And he says, and when I give you the brace, you will absolutely be able to destroy the Rangers. So come on. And Prince Bulldont says, like, okay, cool, yes, absolutely. You can have Japan, give me the brace. And Kuroda says, well, no, I'm not an idiot. Like, we need to... He's like, if I give you the brace right now, you'll just kill me.
Right.
And say that you never promised me anything.
I need some, like, actual assurances here. Like, I'm not just handing this thing over.
Yeah, which, like, I don't know what assurances he thinks he's going to be able to get.
I don't know, man.
Like, do you just want him to promise? Do you want Prince Bulldont to promise harder? I don't. Like, this isn't like a legally binding contract, dude. You're betraying the entire human race to an intergalactic conquering robot empire.
The problem is he really wants a pinky swear, but Bulldont's hand is, like, weird and only has a couple of fingers, and he can't figure out which one is the pinky.
Yeah, he's going to have to keep waiting on that one. So, so they leave. So Prince Bulldon's like, okay, well, clearly you've hidden it someplace. And like, yeah, of course. Like, I'll make you a full partner, whatever that means.
Sure. Oh, by the way, his son...
It's at a law firm.
His son is listening to all of this. Like, from around the corner.
Oh, yeah. Hidden. His son is hiding, and he's hearing all of this stuff. And so we go from there, and we see Prince Bulldont and Acha and Kocha, and they're up on a mountain nearby.
Sure.
And Acha and Kocha say, like, hey, and they're, like, walking. They're not just there. They're walking. It's like they're going someplace. I don't know where they're possibly going.
They're having a walk and
mountain.
talk, Dave.
So Acha says, well, listen, you can't really mean that you're going to team up with this dude and give him Japan. And Bulldont says, oh, no. That guy's a human. Like, we're going to get the power bracer, and then I'm going to kill him.
Right. We just need to figure out how to get it from him first.
Yeah, because he's hidden it, and I have no idea where he is. He says, but we'll figure it out. So we go back from there, and we see Shigeru, and he's running through the farm, and because he's freaking out, because his dad was like, no, I haven't done anything bad. Oh, wait, by bad, do you mean betraying the entire human race to an intergalactic conquering robot empire?
Oh.
I did do that.
Yeah, I mean, he did that, but, like, not bad, like lowercase b.
Right. So Shigeru is freaking out, and he sort of, like, stops, and he sees the Rangers, and he hides. I'm not really sure why, but he does.
Yeah, specifically he sees Juri and Yuji.
Yeah.
And their little like radar thing goes off. They say like, oh, like this is where the thing is, and it comes up with a little picture of Shigeru.
Yeah.
And so
and they call him like, hey kid, wait, come here, like we need to talk to you. He doesn't trust them, he's running.
Sure. I mean, okay. First of all, I can understand why he wouldn't trust him. Because like he is a child and he only knows one adult and that adult is untrustworthy. So like,
right, yeah, no, that's legit.
But like I don't know what he's doing. Like I don't know if he's looking for someone or if he's just trying to hide from his dad.
Yeah, it's not super clear like what his goal is. But he is running. So as the Rangers are chasing him, there's an explosion. Surprise, surprise. And then we see it. It's Aja and Koja, and there's some Bara soldiers and Bara Vacuum.
Yeah. Hey, Bara Vacuum sucks, right?
Yeah, no, he super sucks.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, he's like a big purple dude. He's got like a gun arm, and he super duper looks like the Decepticon Shockwave.
He does look a lot like Shockwave. If Shockwave's face sort of stuck out in a weird way and did a vacuum thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I mean, look up Shockwave and then, like, imagine that he looks about 30% dumber. Or I guess you could just look up Bara Vacuum. That is another option that is open to you.
So
they start to fight, Juri and Yuji against Bara Vacuum. And Juri is calling in the other three Rangers, like, hey, we've got problems here. But those three sort of get waylaid by a bunch of Bara soldiers. Now, the problem here is that Juri is able to transform, but Yuji doesn't have his transformation brace, and so he is just trying to fight sort of untransformed, which is, he is very good at that, but he is not good enough to defeat the monster of the week without putting on like his special superhero hat.
Yeah, like it does not work.
Now,
so Yuji's just eating it.
Well, speaking of eating it, the Bara Vacuum monster, the vacuum laser comes out of his mouth and is like sucks Juri into Bara Vacuum's body. Now you might say, is he giant at this point? How is there room for Yuji to get in there? No, he's not giant. His vacuum cleaner mouth laser also shrinks Yuji so he's able to fit inside of him.
Yes.
But there's not like a holding pen inside. When he gets inside, he's just like loose in the weird like gears and cogs of Bara Vacuum's body, and he's trying to avoid getting crushed by the machine works in there.
Yeah, which is actually, I think that's the coolest element of Bara Vacuum. I felt like
the fact that you get to like see
so
inside
the other Rangers are. Yeah, so the other Rangers are like trying to get over there. They're ambushed, which is why they don't arrive in time to save Yuji. So we see Kuroda and Shigeru, and evil genius mastermind Kuroda. Mastermind genius Kuroda.
He didn't go to evil mastermind school for 4 years to not be called it.
Right, yeah, sorry about that. And so he meets back up with Shigeru, and Kuroda has like a blaster, and he like blasts some of the Rangers away because they were chasing Shigeru. And Shigeru said, he's like, hey, Dad, why do the heroes of Japan and, in fact, the whole world think that I have their power brace? Because I don't have it.
Yeah.
And he says, I love you, Dad. Please don't do bad stuff.
Yeah.
And Goro says, Kuroda, like, listen to your son. Like, you're making your son cry. Like, repent of your evil ways, basically.
And then Prince Bolton shows up and he's like, oh yeah, that kid 100% has the power brace. And the kid says, wait, hold on. What is happening right now?
Like, how is this possible? So, the Ranger, like, Bolton, he says, he's like, Bara Vacuum, go get it. The Rangers are like defending Shigeru. Shigeru gets blasted. He goes down. Turns out, guys, Shigeru is a robot.
Yeah, I didn't know that. You didn't know that, Dave. The Ohrangers didn't know that. Hey, guess who also didn't know that? Shigeru. Shigeru has no idea that he is a robot. And when he looks down and sees, like, his smoking circuit board, like, wound in his chest. He's like, hey, what happened to my body? Why is it robot now?
Yeah, he's like, what's Dad? Hey, Dad? Hey, Dad? Hey, Dad, though?
What's the sitch here?
Am I a robot? His dad does not answer him.
Anyway.
He's just like...
So it turns out that Shigeru did have the power brace. It was just hidden inside of his robot body. Unbeknownst to him.
So that's why they were chasing him.
Because he used his son as a dead drop location.
Yeah, which, I mean, listen. He is an evil genius. Or he is an evil mastermind, and he is a genius. Like, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I guess, if you're bad, which, okay, he is, so...
Yeah. So, so the brace, like, falls out of Shigeru, and, Bar Vacuum is trying to, like, suck it in, and the Ranger's like, no, we have to get the brace, which... Yuji is in there already, guys, so if the brace...
Okay,
if Bar Vacuum got the brace in him... Yuji would just
pick it up.
Have it?
Yeah.
But they're like, no, we have to keep it away from... Yeah, we have to keep it away from Bar Vacuum. And basically what they do is they do a short infomercial on all of the great things that you can do at Rindo Lake Fun Farm.
Yeah, so that is why they don't immediately get the thing inside, like have him vacuum up the power brace. Because first I've got all this written down. So Shohei hops in a go-kart and is like driving around
like off-road go-karts though.
Off-road go-karts, being chased rather by a bunch of bar soldiers who are also in these same go-karts. As they start to close in on him, he throws it away and it is caught by Juri. Juri catches it and is doing like flips and jumps through like a very fun-looking jungle gym.
Yeah, like one of the big wooden structure ones. There's like rope bridges between it, like a slide and like a slidey pole and all sorts of other stuff.
Yeah.
Just as the bar soldier's about to catch up with her, she throws it to Momo, who is out on the paddle boats, just pedaling furiously.
And of course, she is being chased by a bunch of bar soldiers who are all also like paddling furiously on the paddle boats.
Oh man!
Which is
so as they're about to. So I don't know if they're like about to catch up with her or what, but like, you know, they've shown us the paddle boat, so it's time to move on. She throws it to Goro, who is on the go-kart, like the proper go-karts.
Right.
And so we get some like Fast and the Furious action on those go-karts. There's like they're drifting and doing all sorts of other great stuff. And
Goro starts to play chicken with Bar Vacuum and just starts charging it at him.
On a go-kart, which I mean, I wouldn't want to be hit by a go-kart, but it's not anyways. It's not super threatening. But as he's charging towards Bar Vacuum just sucks him up.
Yeah.
And then Goro is inside, and he meets up with Yuji, and he's like, oh, Yuji, here's your power brace.
And
which
so
again,
Goro,
guys...
Yeah.
So, like, they clearly get the idea that if the power brace goes in Bar Vacuum, Yuji can just get it.
Dave, they needed to show us both go-kart tracks.
Okay, so anyways, he tosses it to him.
Yeah, and then Goro is trying
cool sequence,
to, like, stop... Dave, can you hear me what I'm saying?
Yeah, sorry, I just was talking over you for a second.
Okay. No, like, the way...
You take it.
The way that the sound was going, I genuinely couldn't tell if... like we were talking over each other, or if you just didn't know I was talking.
No, I was just talking. I was inadvertently talking over you for a second. My internet is like super slow for some reason right now. I don't really know why.
Okay. Yeah, I can't tell if it's just choppy or if it was also laggy. So, sorry, I was not trying to...
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. In 3, 2, 1...
Sing. So Goro is trying to like grab onto the gears and cogs and stuff that are inside Bar Vacuum to like mess it up from the inside. And then like out of nowhere another gloved hand reaches out and it is Yuji who has transformed. Like, there was no fanfare to him getting his power brace back and retransforming. Just all of a sudden, there he is, transformed inside of Barra Vacuum, and they just start, like, moving stuff around.
Yeah, it was sort of weird that there was no fanfare about him getting it back, although I did really like the shot of, like, the other hand coming over, like, no, we got it, Chief, and then, like, they just escape. And it's not really clear as to how or what. Like, they just get out. Great.
It seems like it is, like, spitting them out.
Yeah. So, man, I really feel like there was an indigestion joke or something that they missed, but the Ohrangers don't really do one-liners.
Yeah, they should really look into that.
Yeah. So Yuji drops Rolling Bomber, which is his attack where he jumps up and, like, spins and creates, like, a sphere of energy and then launches himself. And then he does Lightning Tonfas. And, that rocks Barra Vacuum back on his heels. They summon the giant roller.
There's a lot of spinning and rolling things.
Yeah. We do Ancha and Kocha. They're just on the go-karts.
Yes.
For reasons sort of I don't really understand. They drive up and they're like, Kocha, you got to do it. He's like, Ancha, Kocha. And they launch him, like, from the go-karts. And then they do the giant thing. And then he's, so now Barra Vacuum is giant. And then Kocha hops back on the go-kart with Ancha. Just in case you forgot that Rindo Lake Fun Farm has go-karts.
Yeah, in case you had forgotten it in the 2 moments after they have shown you both go-kart tracks. So they form a giant Ohranger robot, and they have a brief fight. The fight isn't otherwise unremarkable, but there's this one moment where...
Oh, yes.
The Barra Vacuum is trying to
talk about that.
It's trying to, like, vacuum up O-Robo, right? But so it's just like it's got the suction going. But at this point, O-Robo has already summoned the sword, so it just kind of, like, points the sword towards Barra Vacuum and tosses it towards him. It gets sucked up in the vacuum and just lodged in Barra Vacuum's mouth, which is amazing.
Which is... it's really, really poorly done on his part. So then they walk over, like, they literally walk over, pull the sword out of Barra Vacuum, and then use Crown Final Crash and kill him, and that's game.
Yeah.
So we're down in the park, and Kuroda, evil mastermind genius Kuroda, is gone, as is Shigeru.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, we don't know what's going on, but, like, we have to help Shigeru. And Goro says, even if he is a robot, his heart is human, which... Like, I don't know how you determine that.
Hey, I don't know, man. Maybe that's true. None of you have actually talked to this kid. And it is only at this moment that I realized that this is like, oh, it's a cliffhanger. I did not expect a cliffhanger. Like, I genuinely thought they were just going to, like, real quick wrap it up.
Yeah, I didn't know that it was a 2-parter, or I'm assuming it's a 2-parter, but I really hope that it isn't, and we just literally never see these characters again.
Oh, dude, no, I watched the preview for next week's episode. It is definitely a 2-parter.
Oh, okay. So
and there is some stuff going down next week.
Nice. Looking forward to it. But yeah, then that's the end of this episode.
Yes, Dave, but it is not end of our episode.
Yeah, so we got to figure out where, Matt, Barra Vacuum fits on the Creature Royale. And I'm thinking, Matt, very, very low.
Yeah. So who is on the bottom of our list right now? Let's start there.
So the very bottom of the list is General Cactus. And he's on the bottom of the list because he's the creepiest, not like, ooh, creepy. Like, he's just a creep.
Yeah, he's down on the bottom of the list because that is a prison that we put him for his crimes.
Yeah. Just above him is Father Magnet, and he's the second bottom of the list because he is literally defeated by his own superpower. If you remember from, like, the very first season of Live and Let Die Ranger, Father Magnet could, like, positively and negatively charge things so they would attract or repel each other, and he used it to like negatively charge the Die Rangers, and they literally launch Shoji like a railgun at him, and then that's how he dies.
Yeah, okay, so here's what I'm thinking. is that
I
is...
think Bar of Vacuum is worse than him.
Yeah, so, like, Barra Vacuum is a vacuum guy who got defeated when, like, so he used suction and it killed him.
Right. And he doesn't even have, like, his look is real dumb. Yeah, he is
at
the
least
new,
Father Magnet had, like, a cool
worst
human
monster.
form. How long is this list now? Is he number, 121, 122 on this list?
Yeah, he is. He's 122 out of 123. But that, Matt, is going to do it for us.
Yes, Dave, that is going to do it for another episode of For Your Eyes, Ohranger. Before we finish up here, I'd like to remind you all you can email the show at supersentaibrothers@gmail.com. If you want to get any updates on future episodes or check out the things that we're talking about on Twitter, we're on Twitter at Super Sentai Bros, so that's convenient. You can do all that right there. If you like the show, please remember that shining in the iTunes review section, there are 5 stars. Please rate, review, subscribe on Apple Podcasts or wherever it is that you get the show, because we have heard rumors that will help people find it. I mean, or you can just tell somebody about it. That's another option that is open to you, the listeners. The Super Sentai Brothers are a production of Retrograde Orbit Radio. If you'd like to listen to any of the other great Retrograde Orbit Radio shows, you can do so at retrogradeorbitradio.com. Once again, we are the Super Sentai Brothers. I'm Matt.
I'm Dave.
And we'll see you next week for the greatest show on Earth.
Ohranger!